Hi friends, welcome back to Upcycle Designs. I'm Judy and today I'm joining the Red, White, and Beautiful collaboration hosted by Sonnets Gardens and Blooms and her talented group of creators. For my project, I'll be given a chair and a table, a vintage-inspired patriotic makeover with plenty of red, white, and blue charm. Be sure to check out the playlist below and see all the amazing projects in this collaboration. So we are going to get started right away on the chair. Here's our first look at the chair. And as you can tell, it's pretty grungy and old with lots of paint. It's an old vinyl cover seat, and we will be taking that on right away. The next project I'll be doing is the table that I mentioned. And this table has been used for a lot of years, used and abused, and is all scuffed up. And this is before I even started sanding. So I'll be working on that too for a really pretty makeover. But we'll get started on the first project, and that will be the chair. Again, the chair has been pretty ugly and painted many times. What I started with was I sanded down the chair, cleaned it, and then I put Extra Bond on for protection that I would have no bleed throughs. The top half of this particular chair is going to be in a midnight blue that is from a Fusion Paint. It is a mineral paint, so it does stick pretty good on this chair. I will give the whole top half of this chair the blue. The seat and below will be in the red. So everything's getting its first coat of paint on it. And then I'm going to come back and I will start with the second coat of paint. So here you can see that the wood frame of the seat and the legs will be in red. And it's a Dixie Belle paint in a red color. I forgot the name, sorry about that. And then what I'm describing here is how the current blue looks, and you can see that it covered pretty well, but it definitely needs a second coat of paint. And as I get going, you'll see how that blue just gets so enriched in its own color. And you can see on that very side rail that has the 2 coats of paint on it, and it just deepens. It just is so pretty. And I think to me that is a true Americana blue. It's vintage looking, it's American looking, and it looks very nice on this old style chair. So I keep going, and as you can tell, I'm doing a voiceover, and but 2 coats of paint will get done. So here's the seat. I've taken off the vinyl, and the vinyl and that padding on this seat were extraordinarily stinky. I actually take time to wash that wood really good and make sure all the smell is out of it. So I cut out the styrofoam out the size of the chair. I'm using hot glue, and then I'm just going to press this into place. And I just give it a little bit of a squish here and there. It didn't take hardly any pressure at all to make sure that it was attached. And then I have fabric already bought for this chair. Is true Americana. It has blue stars, the creamy background part of the stripes, and of course the vintage color looking red. So it fit right in with the Americana style. I have never taken time to learn or to even do recovering a seat. So this was my first time out there. I don't do the most perfect job. I do the best I can. And really for what the project is, it's perfectly fine. And I will start stapling, and I staple the bottom, and then I work my way to the sides, and then finally to the top of the chair too. I do try to really pay attention that I'm not overstretching and stretching out the lines of the fabric itself. So I will keep going at this until it's all stapled. I do trim down that material so it's not so bulked up, and then I do give it lots of extra staples so that it does hold. Overall, I think it looks pretty good. And then at the end, when I'm done with all the painting on the chair, I do reattach that. And to be honest, I can't remember how I did it, but I did. We're going to get started on the second project, and we're going to work on the chair for a while. We will see the end results of my chair at the end of the video. I am working at the Catherine Boniface Arts Center here in town, and it was for an entire weekend of other creators. It was actually a sleep-in if I wanted to, but I live in town, so I didn't need a sleep-in. But people came from all over the Upper Peninsula to just be with other creators, and we got to talk with each other, show each other what we do, and it was a lot of fun for that weekend. I may do it again. They do it, I think, 3 times a year. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the Dixie Belle paint that I'm working in the red. This table, most of it, this one is going to get painted in the red. So the table itself will be red, and then the drawers and the tabletop will be in the Fusion Midnight Blue. You can see here now I'm adding the second color of the second layer of the red Dixie Belle paint. And for the most part, I get everything done right here at the Catherine Boniface Center, and then I do get it home, and the last thing I do is put on a new drawer pull. And when you see it at the end, I didn't have it straight, but I do get that fixed on my little front porch. So I'm just looking for spots, making sure everything's covered very, very well. I do flip my table upside down after it's dry and get the bottom. So here is the end. I am doing my review. This is my vignette. It's my front porch. I did a little mini sale, and you can see my table, my chair there. They turned out great. And I made bundles of stars. I made big stars, little stars. I made the ladders. It was just a fun. Here's a close-up. You can see that I distressed it. The stencil is a 1776. I added 13 white stars to it. The table turned out adorable. I distressed that too. I did a gas can, put a transfer on that. There's an old mailbox, redid that. There's some of the bundle stars. I did lots of different 4th of July decor. Those are wood tags that I painted and stenciled. And then a small wooden flag with some cardboard stars. Overall, I did lots and lots of stuff. And I've had that sale. I've had one more sale since then. I've sold all my big items. I did those clay pots, and I just did floral decor or bird stencils, transfer stencils on those. That was a lot of fun. And then I just threw in some thrifted items too. I'm hoping you enjoy everything that I made, and I hope that you'll join the rest of us, and please make sure you like and subscribe. I appreciate it. Bye for now. Thank you.